Welcome to the Chesapeake Today Show. My name is Candace Montgomery, Director of Life Enrichment.
Isaiah Hart, Program Coordinator.
Yes, well, we are without David today. He is catching a flight to Chicago, so Isaiah has gladly stepped in his place, kind of shifted things around a little bit, not in our usual location either, so everything is kind of different today.
Yeah, definitely.
So we're in the last week of September.
I know.
How's that possible?
I know, and it's cold.
I know. I know.
Yes,
and
exactly.
Virginia is just always so fickle, so you just never know, are we going to have fall or not? Is it going to be an early fall?
Yeah, it's no telling right now.
I know. So we're really getting into the full swing of fall officially. Last week was the first official day of fall.
Yes.
Recapping things that happened last week, we had recycle discussions on the new containers that are happening. Bruce was talking about those, kind of wrap those up of what the options are going to be for residents. We had Town Hall, we had Carte Boutique, the mobile clothing folks that come in, which is always a big hit around here. So yeah, moving into this week, what do we got this week?
So we are going to the Lee Hall Depot this week. So that's going to be really great. It's about the train station and everything. So that's going to be really interesting. We have our Hampton and Yorktown Neighborhood Fall Social.
Yes.
So please make sure that you bring your goodies. That's at 2 o'clock on the 27th.
Let's pause and chat about that, because this is like a new thing for us too. These beautiful new courtyards, now that the weather is cooling off a little bit, this is why we kind of thought of doing a social of bringing folks out. And I don't know about you, but I love like baked goods in the fall time. It's like in this grocery stores, it's pumpkin flavored everything.
Yes, I love a good pie.
Yes. So I hope residents are getting excited about trying to bring some of their favorite fall goodies for us to kind of exchange and munch and chat and socialize.
Mingle. It should be fun. So, it's going to be fun.
Definitely.
Yes. And then on the 28th, we have Party on the Patio with the Larry Heatwall. So it may not be Party on the Patio necessarily, because we don't know how it's going to feel. But we'll see how it goes. But Larry Heatwall, he has not been here in a while. So he may be new to some and old to others. But he's definitely looking forward to being here. He's very, very popular in the area and outside of this area. So it's going to be a great time. I really think so. Then we also, on the 29th, we have the Newport Neighborhood Fall Social. So same thing, just like on the 27th, but for Newport neighborhoods, please come out, bring your baked goods. It's going to be a great time, just fellowship and just mingling and getting to know people that you probably haven't never met before, maybe. And definitely make sure the people that live inside the community, please make sure that you come out. You can pick which one you want to come to. So you're definitely not excluded. You are included. So make sure you get there. And then on the 30th, we are going to P.F. Chang's. I know a lot of you guys love Asian cuisine. So I have put P.F. Chang's on the menu, on our calendar. So we definitely going to be going there to eat good.
Yeah.
Yes.
And hopefully by now you've all checked your cubbies, because the October Connection is there. Got that out last week. It's lots of fun things in there. We have a lot of fun things planned for October. It's pretty packed.
Yes.
Lobster Fest is the big thing. I know Bruce was talking about all the participation that we have this year, because residents can bring guests. Lots of fun things planned for that. So that's pretty exciting that we're really getting into that season where we have bigger annual events, and that's exciting, and it's fun for us as a community to plan as well, and I know residents enjoy taking part.
Yeah, it's going to be great. Yeah, October is going to be a fun month.
It is. And for those of you that know, because I mentioned this at Town Hall last week, we are hitting the road. So in October, we're taking our first overnight trip in some time. So we're going to be going to Charlottesville, trying to really enjoy that fall foliage, the mountains, visiting an apple orchard, Monticello Art Museum. It's jam-packed with an itinerary. So if you're interested in that, we do need to know this week by the 30th, just so we can secure our room booking for our hotel. That's the biggest thing. So contact Isaiah or myself just to let us know.
Yes, if for nothing else, come for that apple cider donuts.
Yes, because they're famous for that.
That's what I want.
And you'll notice too that this trip is not on the reservation sheet, and that is simply because This trip is a little bit more intricate as far as like when information needs to be for us to be able to book our room. So we didn't want to put that on the reservation sheet and then it be a he said, she said of what order it came in, because if we do have a wait list for this trip, we just want to be true to the order in which we receive them. So calling either one of us, signing up on Touchtown is really the best way for this trip in particular. So a little bit different there, but we're fine tuning these overnight trips and figuring out what best practices we need to do in the future, because we definitely want to do more trips like this.
Definitely.
For extended days too. kind of, feeling things out at first.
Yeah.
Awesome. Well, great. So I know today we have a special guest. David Litzinger is our resident guest for this week.
Yes, he is.
So we're still continuing this Life at the Chesapeake series, interviewing residents, kind of hearing from you guys about your story. You know, if you're from this area or not so much, how you met your spouse, why you chose to come to the Chesapeake. We're curious to know what sets the Chesapeake apart from other retirement communities. Yeah. So David Litzinger is up today.
Yes.
And he is very involved in the community, not just on, a resident council committee. He's part of the fitness and wellness committee. He's been on the activities committee before. Chess club, all kinds of things. So stay tuned for that, because you'll hear lots more from him. But what else? What else can we think of that's coming up?
Well, in October, we have the Oktoberfest.
Yes.
So that's going to be a very, very great time.
Yes.
We have the Sauerkraut Symphony that is coming, and they're amazing. So definitely look out for that, and make sure you come on out. That is on the 11th.
And we're partnering with Dining for that now, too. So they're going to have an authentic buffet beforehand. Plenty of German food. Uwe said he approved of it, so it's got to be legit. So that'll be before, and then folks can just mosey on down to the Chesapeake room and we'll be good to go with that.
And before that, actually, a lot of you guys ask about my singing and always say, I didn't know you could sing, or you hear me singing. That is during karaoke time. Guys, we do karaoke every second Monday of the month. Wow. Every second Monday at 3 o'clock in the Chesapeake room. So they are definitely able to come down, and if you want to sing a song, you can sing a song, or if you just want to hear somebody else sing, you can come and just listen. So I sing every time. I really don't have a choice.
Yeah,
they want to hear me sing.
Like it.
Yeah, but it's fun. We have a great time. It's a great time of fellowship with everyone, and we just sing our little hearts out.
And your following has really grown from when we first kind of launched this, you and Heather. So,
definitely. It's definitely growing very fast. And more people are becoming more comfortable with singing and singing more often. I mean, it's really great. I mean, most of the songs we have for you. If we don't have it, we'll try to find it. But yeah.
That's excellent. Awesome.
Yes.
Well, good. Well, we kind of covered a lot, and I want you all to stick around for that resident interview too. So the last thing I have is the brain teaser. Are we ready for that?
Yes, let's go.
Yeah. So I will say, David Litzinger, he always gets these right off the bat. So him being our interview person today, our guest, I'm not letting him in on what it is until he actually watches his episode.
Yes.
So to recap, last week was which tire doesn't move when a car turns right? A spare tire.
A spare tire.
A spare tire.
Okay.
That one was a little tricky. Folks were kind of arguing with, doesn't the spare tire still move when you move? So
I didn't get it. So.
I don't know. It was kind of half and half with this one.
Yeah.
All right. So this week, here's the brain teaser for this week. They fill me up and you empty me almost every day. If you raise my arm, I work the opposite way. What am I? I'll repeat it again. They fill me up and you empty me almost every day. If you raise my arm, I work the opposite way. What am I? So call me, email me, stop me in the hallway and randomly give me the answer. Isaiah's trying to figure it out.
I'm lost already.
This one was a little trickier because you guys are getting these too easily. I got to make it a little harder.
Okay.
This was tricky. You got to really pause and think about it.
Yeah.
All right. Well, I think that's about it.
Yeah.
So everyone stay tuned for David Litzinger, because he's up next, and we'll see you next time.
All right.
All right. right, welcome back. So today's resident guest is David Litzinger. How are you?
I'm great. Thank you for having me.
Good. Glad that you're here, continuing this Life at the Chesapeake series, kind of getting residents' input of getting to know you guys a little bit better and reasons for coming to the Chesapeake. So tell me a little bit about yourself, kind of a little bit of back history. Were you originally from this area? You know, things like that.
I'm what you call a come here. I'm from Pennsylvania,
Okay.
Pittsburgh area. I'm a big Pittsburgh Steeler, Browns. That was a Freudian slip. I was figuring David would be here and rub it into me that the Browns beat the Steelers. But I'm a Steeler fan, a Pirate fan, and a Penguin fan. I grew up my first 18 years in the area, and then I went to college, and then after college I moved down here.
Okay, very nice. Now, what about your wife, Mary? Where did you guys meet?
This is funny situation. Mary's from Baltimore, and we had
Interesting.
no connection at all until I moved down here and joined a young adult group.
Okay.
And we had our group down here would interchange with the group up in Baltimore. So I met Mary at one of the regional weekends, and we started corresponding at first and all that stuff. And then I invited her down to, I think we had a Bicentennial Yorktown in 1981.
Okay.
Okay, so I invited her down to that because she'd never been down to this area. And we sort of commuted back and forth for about a year and a half. We got married in 1983.
Wow. That's awesome. That's pretty cool. That's a unique story.
It is a unique
sure.
story because everybody asks, where did you meet? We actually met in New York City.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, that's where the regional weekend was.
Oh, I see. Wow. So that's pretty unique. Now, what about career-wise?
Well, career-wise, I've been basically in sales and marketing ever since I was in high school. When I first started working for in high school, I was working for Brunswick. I was working as a student in the evenings, and one of our things we were promoting was called Itty Whippets.
Okay. I'm not sure what that
You
is.
can ask me a question?
What is it?
Well, if I tell you, will you bowl this summer? I was working for Brunswick, remember that bowling alley. And we had a little bird, it was Itty Whippets. And I signed up, I was only like 16, I signed up to most people, and I actually got a $100 savings bond.
Oh, wow.
Now, keep this in mind, that was 1967.
Yeah.
Pretty good money.
Pretty good. Yeah. Holy cow.
And then as I progressed, when I was in college, I spent more time at the college radio station doing news and selling advertising. I was the advertising director, and we had to supplement our budget. We were a student-run organization. Student-run organizations get so much money from the college, but we wanted much more. We wanted to upgrade. It'd be like the big guys in Pittsburgh.
Okay.
So we did have an advertising team, and then when I got out of school, I impressed them so much at Brunswick that they offered me a job down here in Virginia Beach as assistant manager at Brunswick Plaza Bowl.
Wow.
Yeah, didn't last that long. Recreation's tough. If you all
Yeah,
know, you got to
sure.
work weekends, you got to work
Yeah.
nights. So what happened was I eventually went into retail management, and then I went into sales.
Okay. Wow. That's pretty cool, though. I mean, that's a lot of back history and kind of working your way up.
It's a lot of OJT, on-the-job training.
Right.
I think I got more working with other people than I did actually in classroom work.
Well, I think a lot of people can say that for sure. Of on-the-job training is kind of where you learn how to work with people and so many different dynamics for sure. So, how long have you lived at the Chesapeake?
Well, I moved here. We moved here. We moved. You asked how long have I been at the Chesapeake?
I did.
How long have we been at the Chesapeake?
Yes.
4 years. We moved here
Okay.
in 2018. It'll be 4 years this December
Nice.
on the Christmas at the Chesapeake. What a weekend to move
Whoa.
in. Everything was crazy at that weekend,
Yeah.
and we spent a couple of days in the guest suite as our stuff was being moved
wow.
in, and everything was moving around here. So it was really kind of it was fascinating, and it was also awkward.
Yeah.
But every Christmas at the Chesapeake, that's my anniversary.
That's awesome. And correct me if I'm wrong, but you guys were a part of the Chesapeake Club too, right?
We were part of the Chesapeake Club, and
Okay.
we really weren't. We were looking around because Mary's been ill for quite a while. We were looking to downsize. We were looking to go from our 2-story home over at Village Green to a 1-story.
Okay.
And I do not like to cut the grass.
Who does? Who does like yard
So
work?
that was a big selling point here.
Oh, yeah.
And as she was ill, we had visiting angels coming in. So
Okay.
I was still working at the time, and then when I retired, I became basically primary caretaker, and we decided to move over here,
Yeah,
figuring the continuous care and
sure.
not knowing what the future held for us at that time.
Yeah.
She's a survivor. She's been 7 years.
She is. And I mean, I guess my earliest memories of memory was when I was in the fitness department and her just pounding out these workouts in the on the treadmill, and she had her Fitbit attached to her sneaker to make sure it was really
Still
tracking
does.
those steps.
Still does.
And I've walked with her several times out in the community, and I mean, she is fast, so fast. So,
I lost her on the Matson Trail.
I believe that.
And I had to say, I actually figured I was going to take a shortcuts to keep ahead of her. Well, I didn't realize that shortcut took me away from the golf course.
Yeah,
And I
they
said,
do.
Where's Mary? Where's Mary? I said, uh-oh, she's that way. So I started walking, and I said to this lady who's coming back towards me, and I says, did you see a lady walking on a rollator? And they says, she's down there at the corner waiting for you.
Oh
I go,
yeah.
okay.
Like, hurry up, David. I'm done already.
She's done
'Cause
already.
she's just like lickety split. Wow. Well, it's nice that you guys are in a cottage too. Even having, spoke on coming here because of it being continuing care retirement community and not knowing what the future holds. It's nice that you guys still have that independence
Right.
though in your cottage.
Right.
So it's there if you need it, but you still
That
kind
was
of
one of the things that you mentioned, the Chesapeake Club.
Mm-hmm.
We were a member of the Chesapeake Club for about a year and a half.
Okay.
And we had signed a contract, and they said, "I got a place for you. I got a place for you." It was a cottage. We weren't sure where we were going to go, and we looked at it and says, "We don't like that sun porch or screened-in sun porch. We
Yeah.
want a sun room."
I see.
So GC did the construction on it, and it took about 5 months. So we had signed a contract in May and didn't move in 6 months, 6.5 months later.
Wow.
We made sure we had what we wanted.
Well, that's a lot to say about the Chesapeake too. Just really hearing your concerns and saying, "Hey, if this is what you
No pressure,
prefer."
no
Yeah,
pressure.
right. So that's awesome. Wow. So, what do you enjoy most about living at the Chesapeake?
Well, I like the convenience. But basically, I only lived about 5 miles from here. Mary and I live 5 miles from here. So going up and down Harpersville, Warwick, and J. Cloud, it's no different. Matter of fact, a couple of times when I went up to Aldi's up here at Jefferson Commons, when I got on, I usually take Jefferson's to get on the interstate and come down Oyster Point Road. Well, instead of making a right turn on Old Oyster Point and coming down Old Oyster Point Road, I almost made a left turn into Village Green.
Right. It's just like autopilot.
Just
Your
like
body's
autopilot,
that's where you're supposed to go.
and when I'm driving around from Norfolk, I got to remember to get off at J. Clyde Morris and I go up to the next, exit.
Yeah.
It's not that bad. It's a mile, but it's still.
But that's nice that you were already familiar with the area, because
Yeah.
a few other people that we've had, interviewed for this Life series, Life at the Chesapeake, weren't from this area.
Very
So trying
hard to
to
get
figure things out, and the weather, I mean, like today, it's cooler outside, but Virginia's fickle. So it helps being a part of this area already and kind of knowing your way
We'll have
around.
tropical weather this weekend. It's coming up the coast.
Yeah, so it's always hard to know. But I also want to talk about your involvement in not only the fitness and wellness committee, but you've got a whole chess club, billiards. I
Well,
mean,
that's right.
Got a lot going on.
I've been involved since I've been here on the activities committee, the dining committee, and the wellness and fitness committee. So I've sort of had this, and it kind of fits in when we talk wellness. We're talking about emotional. We're talking about nutrition, and et cetera, et cetera. And both me and Jesse Hughes have served on similar committees, and we're talking similar talk. And a lot of times people don't put the whole thing together, that it's a composite. It's not one committee and another committee. A lot of times there's an overlap between different committees, and that helps by having served on the different committees. Now, the idea on the chess club, what was kind of unique, we started this about a year ago, and just put an information bulletin. Basically what I did was I actually had an organizational meeting in the Clark's Cafe, and people straggled in, and I was just sitting there. So people straggle in and they said, well, what do we need to do? I said, well, just give me your name. And I said, you don't have to hang around. If you want to hang around, shoot the breeze, fine. So some people did. So we ended up with 6 people to start. Lost 1. But in the past year we picked up 6 more people, so we're up to 11.
Wow.
Which is kind of strange with chess because it's 2 players.
It's too, yeah, interesting.
So you have we set up a nice schedule where everybody plays everybody else. So over a period of 11 weeks, you'll play each person. Nice thing about chess is you can have your own board. You can play it anywhere, anytime, any place. So basically, I put the schedule up. It's up to the person to call each other and arrange a meeting. And with having only 11, we have a bye week in there, and we would like to get a 12th person. So if anybody even wants to consider, but I'll make a commitment, but if you want to consider, we have a free person each week, and you can come in and play and then decide it's not for you.
Now, I have to ask, because in the cafe this past week, I saw Mr. Napier and Mr. Seeley playing. Are they both already on your
Yes,
your
they
list?
are.
Okay.
Yes, they are.
So I was going to be recruiting them.
Well, no. Actually, Jim Seeley is one of our original players.
Good.
And John is one of our newbies because he just moved in 6 months ago. And John says he likes to go play out in the public.
Okay.
Beautiful. Some people, when they play chess, they want concentration.
Quiet. And...
So you don't want to be where you might be disturbed.
Okay.
So everybody has their own different knack.
Sure.
We had one gentleman that I did pick up. I shouldn't say pick up, but I did up. I think that's the word. I did up in the cafe. Jim City says, why don't you go ask him? Go ask him. So I asked him, I said, you interested in playing chess? He says, sure.
Cool.
So that was Charles McKay. He just moved in.
Oh, perfect. Yeah.
He's only been here about 3 months.
Yes.
So he was hesitant. And he lost his first 2 games. Now he's won his next 2 games.
Very nice.
And we have another gentleman that just joined us, Tom Brightbill.
Perfect.
I'm going to kick him out because he's won 11 games in a row.
Oh, wow.
Okay, and he and he's unseated both me and Ken Nolan, who's the chess aficionados. So we got competition now.
Yeah.
And like I told one of the other fellows who was kind of losing, I said, any given day, any given time, it's like the National Football League, you could beat somebody. Well, guess who beat me yesterday? Yeah, so...
You win some, you lose some, I guess. That's the way it goes.
But we are looking for people, and obviously it's a grid. I call the schedule grid off the computer, and then I just plug in the names with the numbers. And one of the interesting things that I would like to eventually do, we have other activities, and this is the thing about the chess club, is that you're meeting people for the first time. You're in their apartment. You're, someone you might not have ever met by chance. Your numbers come up and you play. I would like to do something like that with table tennis, where we get, if you got 12 interested people, we just put up a schedule and let them play at their leisure on the weekend. And I think that rather than the idea of having somebody bring a friend, hey, you're gonna call 300 friends here at the Chesapeake?
Yeah.
You got that much time?
Well, and I've seen that rec sports group, I like to call them the squad, that show up on Saturdays. You're a part of that.
Well, I'm a part of it. I'm a part of it because that's when they're there.
Yeah.
But that's not to say that when the room's dark, that Isaiah and I can't come down and play a game.
Right. Yeah.
Right. So, if Isaiah and I were scheduled, or you and I were scheduled, we would play.
Sure.
Independently, because again, all you got to do is flick the lights on, 2 paddles, you're
there. Yeah.
It's not like chess. I can't take the table with me
everywhere.
It's
a little bit different. Yeah. Very nice. Tell me a little bit about your involvement with the Fitness and Wellness Committee. I know you and I work very closely with that, and you'll work closely with Ann, our new, fitness director. But how long have you been serving on that committee?
Oh, well, I've been on that committee 2 years.
2 years, yeah.
And basically, I came on board when Mary went off. It's kind of funny. She was on for 2 years.
I remember that.
And one of the reasons why Mary was on it, because she was more into the physical working with everything, and I was on it more based on the wellness concept of the different pillars of wellness, whether it be mental fitness, physical fitness, emotional fitness, your surroundings. And someone says, why are you concerned about safety. That was one of my things, safety. And I said, listen, if you trip over something, you think you're going to be doing exercise?
Right.
You're out. You're six months, maybe in physical therapy, 6 months, 6 weeks of physical therapy, or you might even be in healthcare.
Yeah.
The idea is to be aware of your surroundings at all times. Watch what you eat,
Right.
and keep a healthy mental attitude, and also the physical fitness.
Yeah.
So those are the things. I did notice too. We talked a little bit about emotional wellness last night. Beautiful activity. We had a birthday bash. I had talked to a couple the day before, and he came up to me and says, "This is our 54th anniversary." I said, "Well, congratulations, 54 years." Yeah. I didn't see anything around here about them celebrating 54 years. I said, "What are you doing for your anniversary?" He says, "We're going out to dinner. We're here at the Chesapeake." I go,
Oh.
yeah. But the thing about it was, 54 years is something to celebrate.
It is. And I know the Chesapeake does send flowers to folks when it is those kind of milestone anniversaries, but that is something to celebrate
But a
for
little
sure.
pat on the back. It's like you got the birthday list, so I know people put cards in the cubbies and
Yeah,
stuff
most
like
definitely.
that. There's such a thing as anniversary cards
Oh,
too.
for sure. We can definitely take that in consideration.
Yeah, and I think the emotional well-being is one of the things that we're here for. Is the interaction. You age better if you interact with people.
Oh, yeah.
But there are some people here who are just here because of not having to cook, not having to do house cleaning, not having to do yard. That's
Right.
fine. But we want to get those people involved too.
Oh, yeah. Community is a big part of our mission, just making sure that everyone feels like they do have that available if they so choose to be interested in that. Well, I do have one final question
Ooh,
for
okay.
you. So, what is one bucket list item that you have not done yet? Is there something on your bucket list that you haven't?
Well, the one bucket list, I thought I was going to accomplish it this past year because I sing in a choral group, Virginia Choral Society.
Okay.
And our director is the director, he's the chairman of
Okay.
the music and arts department over at Virginia Wesleyan. He was trying to get a group to go up to Carnegie Hall to sing.
Oh, wow.
Okay, I've done some very unique things. I've sung Rudder's Magnificat with John Rudder under John
Okay.
Rudder's direction. Vivaldi's Requiem under Joanne Folletta's direction with this group. I said, all right, Carnegie Hall. I've never been there. I've never been there,
Right.
let alone be on the stage.
Yeah.
So that's still my bucket list.
Okay.
Yes.
That's pretty unique. And I know you do a lot of things with Baseball League, too.
Well, I do that, and it's kind of funny. This comes back to the brain fitness.
Yeah.
The baseball game, basically, I work as a data caster for the Norfolk Tides. So what used to be the line score, you used to see the newspaper, they used to do what
Yeah.
the newspaper guys would do. We have automatically online, ongoing, and I put that data into the computer, and it goes
Wow.
out to whoever wants to read it.
Yeah.
And the other, so that's using your brain. The other thing
Of
is singing is all math. Quarter notes, half notes, full notes.
Yeah.
Everything's and then you're singing four parts, eight parts, whatever it might be.
Yeah.
That's another thing that keeps your mind alert and
Definitely.
counting. And like I said, I'm singing in the Virginia Choral Society on Monday night. Tuesday night, right just before COVID, I joined the Yorktown Chorale. And
Wow.
I'm singing on Wednesday night at church, so that keeps me pretty busy.
That really
Yeah.
does. And, not just the brain fitness component of that, but the social, like
Well,
we
the
just
social
talked
is great
about.
too.
I mean,
Yeah,
that's
good food. Good food.
and lots of different connections too,
Yes.
of all different types of walks of
We
life.
like to party.
Hey. All right. Well, I think that about sums it up for us, but I'm so happy you were able to join us. And to you all out there, if you are interested in being a guest here, I've been kind of volunteering folks and reaching out to people to be on this series. But if you are interested and want to kind of tell your story on this platform, please let me know. My extension is 1656. But David, I think we are all done for today.
All right.
Anything else you want to add?
Well, one thing I do want to talk about a little
Okay.
bit is volunteerism.
Okay.
Okay, that's another thing. You could get involved in different groups as a
Mm-hmm.
volunteer, but also like you have a volunteer working on concierge,
Mm-hmm.
the gift shop, assisted living. I think Jenny Smith helped you out with aquatics when you were
She
shorthanded.
is, yes.
Very, very good. I often ask, why can't I drive the activities car? I know there's insurance. But I drive the
Hmm. Little bit of
church.
hoops.
I drive the church bus, and it's the same doggone vehicle.
Yeah, I mean, hey, we can explore it.
But the there's a employment problem in the dining and in activities, drivers, whatever. And you have some very talented people
most
that
definitely.
that have a gift of gab. It could be a host in
Sure.
a dining room. They don't have to go and cook or serve tables. They could just be,
Right.
hey, how you doing? Pour coffee, iced tea, whatever it might be.
Yeah.
I think we need to utilize our residents more in supplementing
Sure.
the
I agree.
staff.
Yeah.
Okay, we don't want to be paid. We just want to be served.
Right.
That's why we're here.
Yeah.
And
It's
we still
tricky.
like to work too. It's not that we're going to go to bed. We want to.
Right.
We like to work.
And and I think we do have a small group of residents who do help out, and it's the joy that you receive from helping others. I think that's the big thing that needs to be focused on versus, like you said, you're not going to be pushed and worked hard, you know.
No, I don't want to
be
sweep any floors.
Don't be intimidated by it. Try to leave the fun things for you guys to do,
Yeah.
right? Or maybe little busy work items or whatever it may be. But yeah, there's joy in giving back and
Sure.
helping others.
Sure.
And I think you're right. We do need to tap into more
Tap into
residents
volunteerism more so.
and
yes.
kind of highlight the joys and things that are, you do get that feeling of helping others, kind of honing in on that. So that's an excellent point. I'm glad you brought that up. Another to add to that isn't with residents is this week I reached out to Peninsula Catholic School up here on Harpersville, and we are now a community partner
Beautiful.
for those students that do need some volunteer hours. So not so much on the resident front, but we'll still work
Well,
on that.
I know Lakewood's been working quite extensively with Benedictine up in Richmond.
Okay.
Very similar type
Yeah.
program, and that's one of the things to work with. And the other thing I would like to maybe you reach out to the Boys and Girls Club.
Oh yeah, that's a good one too.
Both ways. They
Yeah.
would like they like to help, but they also
Sure.
need the mentors, etc.
Yeah, that's a great point. I hadn't thought of that. So yeah, I'll definitely reach out. Excellent. Anything else?
That's all I have, unless you.
We covered quite a bit. All right, well, thank you all for tuning in, and we will see you next time. Have a good day.